Today we're going to make some red sauce or bolognese, whatever you call it, wherever you're from. Last night, pretty late, I put some tomatoes on and roasted them in a 110 degrees Celsius or 225 degree Fahrenheit oven for 3 hours. Now, I think they could have gone for another hour. But whatever, this is what we got. Some of the moisture has been, they look a little bit dehydrated, and that's ultimately what you want. You just want to take some of that moisture out. So we're going to start with that, some ground beef, an onion, and along with the tomatoes last night, I roasted some garlic. You can see it's just got olive oil on it. So I had my halved tomatoes, olive oil, salt, pepper, and I'll always put oregano, or if you're British, oregano, on these because I want to start flavoring from the base of the dish, and that starts with tomatoes and this roasted garlic. Now, my house last night at midnight / 1 o'clock smelled insane. It was smelling so good because of this garlic. It smells so good. Anyway, I'm gonna try to keep a lid on that because it is quite potent. Anyway, so the first thing you want to do is brown off your ground beef, and then add in your onion, your garlic, and your bell pepper, which I forgot to get. I try to use a great, you can see my pajama pants. Look, this is quarantine. Don't judge nobody. Don't judge nobody, okay? Anyway, green bell pepper. This is just a little guy. Lachlan doesn't really like bell peppers, so I hide them. Let me wash him, actually. There we go. Let him drain for a bit. So yeah, let's, this is nowhere near enough tomatoes, by the way. We're gonna be using some store-bought as well as these. If you were just making a small batch, just for this meal tonight, this might be enough. This is 14 tomatoes halved, and I mean it cooks down a lot, so it's definitely lost a lot of moisture. Anyway, I think if you were gonna do a monster batch of this, you would need at least double this, and then maybe double again, maybe 48 tomatoes. But you'd need to do, I only have one oven, so I'd need to do half one day, half the other day, because it's going to take 4 hours to 5 hours in a really low oven. So it's a lot of effort. But I had extra tomatoes, and I needed to use them up. They were going to go bad. This was the way. I thought about preserving them, like canning them even. But, sorry, my shirt is riding up on me. But I can't get the jars from Amazon because, they're not an essential item, which is fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, I'm going to start chopping and browning and all that jazz. Maybe I'll fast forward to this. Okay. I forgot to mention, I'm using this, I want to say it's like value ground beef, but yeah, I mean, it ain't the fancy ground beef like Angus or anything like that, because I'm going to drown it in a sauce. If it was a burger, you better believe I'd be using good, like high quality ground beef. But not in a sauce. I mean, I'm making it for company. Maybe I'll use the good stuff. Maybe. Anyway, I'll show you this. Also, I cook this beef from frozen. I mean, it's like halfway thawed, but. Alright, I've got olive oil and butter. Actually, I have butter in the pan right now. And I'm gonna be, hang on, let me see if I can get this. Oh, look at it, we got it. Okay, so butter's melting, and like I told you before, you want to season from the base. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of olive oil in there. We might end up draining the fat off. I'm not sure yet. It really depends on how much fat comes out of the meat. And I use, for any Italian cooking, I use 3 main herbs or herbs. And that's oregano. That might be backwards for you. That probably is backwards. Anyway, oregano, Italian herbs mix, and fennel seeds. These are very important. There are certain flavors for each like culture of cooking. So for Italian, you have to have fennel and you have to have oregano. If you don't have those two, it doesn't taste like an Italian dish. I don't know why. I mean, well, I know why, but it's because it's not in there. But I don't know why it's those flavors that really make me say this is Italian in my head. It's like cilantro for Mexican, or you know, curry or garam masala for Indian, or turmeric for Indian. Cumin as well for Mexican. All of those flavors just scream that genre of cooking to me. Anyway, I'm going to turn this heat up just a little bit because I want this to really like fry. I don't want it to turn gray, you know, and like braise. I want it to really crisp up a little bit. So we'll wait until this is a little bit hotter. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, start seasoning the base. So I've got some pepper, a little bit of salt, not a lot because this is just the base. You just want to get it going. Here's the oregano. Let's say for the amount we're making, you want to do a tablespoon of oregano. Oregano is very powerful as well. So that was probably all that we'll add of that to the whole dish. A tablespoon of Italian herbs, and probably a teaspoon of the fennel seeds. Don't need much to get that flavor to really bloom into the dish. Hey, Lachlan. I'm doing a cooking video. And showing people how to make red sauce. What do you think? Do you want to have spaghetti tonight? Yeah. Does that sound good? Okay. Alright, go play. Cheeky boy. Alright. Put these colors away. Might come back for them later. We'll see how we go. Looking good. So I'm going to add this. Again, luckily this doesn't have to be pretty. It's going to just be in a sauce. So let it get started. My mom cooks ground beef from frozen all the time. Do your parents do that? I think that might be a baby boomer thing. Okay. I hope you can hear me over the stove. I'm going to start cutting these up. I'll need the bell pepper. I'll need the onion first, actually. Let's talk about knife skills. So I'm not a chef, just a home cook. But what that means to me is that I have lots of time to practice my knife skills every day. Because I make at least 1 meal a day. Sometimes, well, like right now, I make 3 meals a day. And the thing that takes the longest for me now is figuring out what I'm gonna cook, not the actual chopping. That's what used to take me the longest, was the chopping. One thing I found is having a really good grip on the knife. Like this, I'm choked way up on it, you know? And that gives me a lot of control and the ability to kind of make sure that the knife is going exactly where I want it to go. And I don't know everything. I'm probably doing a lot of things wrong here, but this is what works for me and makes, I mean, look at this. I'm chopping onions. I'm super sensitive to onions, and I'm not crying, and it's because I'm being fast. Well, fast enough anyway. Just make sure you get your little nubbins out the way. There you go, whole onion chop. What was that? 15 seconds? So, go ahead and put this on a plate over here so that I can add it to the meat once it's browned up. That's the onion. Let's get the bell pepper done. Same for bell pepper, you know, do what works for you. I kind of do a hybrid of a lot of different methods to chop these up. Anyway, I guess my point is, the more you practice it, the quicker you get. And the more you practice, like, what feels right to you instead of what you should be doing, I don't know. That's how I did it. So anyway. Definitely nobody taught me how to use a knife properly. My mom definitely does not use a knife properly. Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me that I said that. My mother is a great mother. She raised me right. Lord help me. Okay. She ain't gonna watch this anyway. She's like, Instagram, what's that? Miss Ann, you gotta teach Mom how to use Instagram. No, actually don't, because then she'll see this. Anyway.
Mama, look.
What? Can you not do that, please? He attached his bike helmet to his shirt. Okay, I'm just gonna get these chopped up a bit on there. That'll do. They're gonna cook for a long time, so it's okay. It is 2:30 right now, and this is gonna be for dinner tonight. So that's how kind of early you have to start it. Let me start this meat. Okay, the meat's browning up pretty good. It's getting there. There's actually not a whole lot of fat on this. Yeah? Sorry, I'm muted. Okay, I'm back. Lachlan just needed to show me some stuff. Bell pepper and onion are going into the beef. You can see it's got a nice couple of brown, you know, we didn't have to drain any of the fat because there was hardly any in there. just a smidge. It's thinking a little bit too much. Alright, so let's get all the bell pepper and onion incorporated. Like I said, it's going to cook for a while. So you can leave. They don't have to be finely chopped. So once these onions and bell peppers start to get a little translucent, that's when I'll add the garlic in. So, get off there. There we go. I'm going to chop up the garlic, and then I'll start on the tomatoes. Also took out my passata. This is quite a small container. I'm hoping that this is going to make up the bulk of our sauce, and we'll just add that in as a top up. I'm not going to use all of this garlic because that would be insane. Absolutely insane. But I am going to use a good portion of it. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cloves of garlic? That's a lot. It's gonna go over pasta. Your sauce really does need to have some body to it, you know? Some flavor and body to it to hold up to pasta. Pasta can be bland, and also it's gonna absorb some of the flavor from the sauce. So you wanna make sure it's good flavor. Alright. Roasted garlic has this like texture to it. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, you want to get these pretty finely minced. So I'll start this way. I mean, you guys know how to chop. I'm not going to school you on this anymore. I promise. Just hone your knife skills the best you can. It's going to save you a lot of time in the long run. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of garlic. Whatever. We can take it. If you wanted to make this dish spicy, you would start at this point adding the spice into it. Red pepper flakes, cayenne, not chili powder, because chili powder is one of those things that's an essential ingredient in chili. So I would not add chili powder to this. You could add paprika. Chili and bolognese are only like a few ingredients away from each other as far as makeup goes. Oh, hey, what is it?
When you're ready, I almost done.
Once this starts simmering, I'll come outside. Okay? It's gonna be a couple minutes, all right?
Have something.
You can have a pancake. Okay. So yeah, chili and bolognese are only a few ingredients off of one another, and chili powder is one of those ingredients. So in a bolognese, you can pretty much add anything you want apart from chili. Sorry, my friend Erica called me. Hey Erica. I added the garlic in. I don't remember what I was talking about, so we'll just leave it there for now. You know what? This is a bit dry, so I'm going to add some olive oil to it. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to turn this heat down to low. This center burner on my stove is like a turbo burner. It's a hot one. So, it will burn anything you put on it. So I need to get the tomatoes in here pretty quick. In fact, I know I'm going to need this. Excuse me. So I'm just going to add that in. By the way, I coughed over my shoulder, if anybody wants to know. I'm going to go ahead and add this in. I was just getting translucence on the tomatoes, but you've got to be flexible. I mean, not on the tomatoes, on the onions. What am I talking about? Okay. So your enemy in making a good bolognese is moisture. You want to find the right balance between moisture and flavor. I don't like it when I can see water in a bolognese sauce. This obviously is too thick. We're not done yet. So let's start that to kind of cook. I'm all the way down on low. I'm going to move burners because this is too hot. Get my other one lit. You might not be able to see though if I move it over here. Well, I'll just have to hold the phone when I come back to it. So I'm going to put that nice and low and let that start to get to know one another. Okay, next thing is the tomatoes. We're going to start chopping these bad boys up. I leave the skin on because I just don't care enough to take them off. And I'm just going to start chopping. I'll probably put these back on that plate and get some water. The one video where I'm not drinking alcohol. Alright, so these are going to simmer for a very long time. So you could put these in whole if you wanted to and just squish them down. That would work. I'm going to chop them up because I need some of this moisture that is in here to go ahead and release into the sauce. Maybe I'll chop half of them and then I'll just let the rest simmer down. Simmer down now. Let me know if you know that reference. Simmer down now. There we go. I think if we would have put these in the oven for longer, they would have even less moisture. Oh man, how many times am I going to say that word? Water content. That's what I'll say. They'll have a lower water content than they do now. And I don't think that would work for us because we have so much to make up as far as water content goes. Okay, so I've chopped probably just under half of them. I'm going to go ahead and add those to my pan. And then I'll add these and the oil because that oil is full of flavor. All right, let me see if I can. Don't worry, we're okay. So this is what it looks like at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and get these down in here. Just let them heat up and start to dissolve into the sauce. Can you see? I don't know what I'm filming. There we go. Maybe I'll turn this around. Oh, I can't because I'm already filming. Right, whatever. This is not a professional situation. You know this. Okay. So get these tomatoes down in here. Whoa! I hope I got that on camera. That was funny. Alright. I'm on. Yes, I'll be out in just a minute. We're going to set these to nice and low. I'm going to cover them. And we're going to check them every probably 20 minutes to see if they're beginning to break down. And in about an hour, we'll have a sauce. So look how many tomatoes I have to use. I sent Steven to Costco to buy tomatoes, and that's what I got. I got tomatoes. What more can I ask for? Anyways, till then, I'm going to clean up, spend some time with my boy, give these a stir every once in a while, and we should have bolognese. Sauce has been simmering now for, it's 3:28. So what is that? Is that an hour? 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Anyway, it's looking good. Ready? Look at that. The tomatoes are starting to break down. The skins are breaking down. It's not too liquidy. You can see the pan underneath it. So, this is looking great. Now, I'm going to season this again. Before I do that, I'm going to take a little spoonful. Oh, this looks good. Sorry, Lachlan's ringing his bell. Oh, it's hot. Ooh, child. That is good. That's real good. Alright, so at this point, if you're no alcohol, then don't do this. But, and you can leave it just the way it is. But, I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. And I'm going to add probably a 1/4 cup of wine to it. I can't do this one-handed. Hold on. There we go. So, let me get you where you can see it. The heat is way up because we want this to simmer down until it's almost like jammy. And it gives it another layer of flavor. So I'm going to work this down into the sauce. You could also, if you know you're going to use the wine, I mean it's already evaporating, you can also do this at the point right before you add your tomato products. But there we go. Just let that wine cook off. Once it all kind of gets absorbed and the wine, the smell of the wine cooks down, then you can turn it down to low and let it simmer for another kind of 20 to 30 minutes. Again, I mean, I have time to do this. It's Sunday. You know, I have an abundance of tomatoes and I like to cook. So I took the time, I did it. There's shortcuts that I'm sure you all know. Use Dolmio, use Ragu, whatever you want. But this is just, I had the time, I had the tomatoes, so I'm gonna use them. Sorry, my window's open, so like all the cars and stuff, you can hear them. So now it's where I want it to be. All of this alcohol is burned off, and I'm going to turn it back down to low now. Spread it out. When wine cooks down, it tastes sort of like jammy to me, you know, a little bit like jam. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar because that acidity, that's not a good place for a lid to go. The tomato has a little bit of acidity, the wine has a little bit of acidity. So let me just get my little I'm going to use, I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Probably not. I'm just going to sprinkle that in the top and add just a little bit more. It really does need this. Otherwise it kind of tastes, I don't want to say like thick, but like it's heavy tasting. It takes away all the good you did with the wine, where you kind of lightened it up and made it jammy. I can't do this. There we go. So, there we go. A good helping of salt. Now I'm gonna, wow, this is a bad angle for me. It doesn't matter, because you're not here to judge me about the angle, right? Okay, this is looking great. I'm gonna do another taste. Let me get a new spoon. I don't want to put my whole mouth in the dip. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see if that wine's cooked off. How about I not light my mouth on fire this time? I'm gonna blow straight into the microphone of the phone. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm not sorry, because I'm gonna keep doing it. I see why Steven married me. Now I know. Okay. Give it one last stir. We're gonna cover it. It's on low now. Oh my goodness. Lord, that's good right there. Okay. Low. Pardon my disgusting burners. So it is 3:35 right now. I'm going to let this go for another 20 minutes on low, and I'll be back to show you the finishing touches when it's time to start the water for the pasta. Okay, bye. All right, so it is now 4:30 and I'm ready to start making the dinner, basically, like putting the dinner together. So I've got a pot of water, water on to boil, and I've got my sauce here. So I'm going to finish off the sauce now. I'll show you how to do that. There we go. This is what it looks like. It almost is the consistency of like sloppy joes. Look at my dirty sink. Alright, here we go. There we go. If you want a thicker sauce, you could obviously use, more passata or oh, I meant to say that actually while I get the other ingredients. I meant to say that you can use Hunt's crushed tomatoes, and those are really the best, the Hunt's, in place of the passata, because I know you can't really find passata in America, but Hunt's crushed tomatoes, not the sauce, but the crushed. Did I say that enough times? Okay. Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to put the rest, what was left of this bag, in here. Wasn't that much. And then the heat is off. And I'm going to add in a little splash of milk. Like that. Again, the heat is off. And it just kind of adds a texture to it. And it changes the color slightly to a little bit pink, which I like. And it gives you a little bit more liquid to work with that's not water. So it's going to coat the pasta nicely. There we go. She's all mixed. And with the heat off, I'm just going to put the cover back on and let it sit until my pasta's ready, which, by the way, I'm using fresh tagliatelle. It takes 5 minutes and it has a 1-month expiration. It's awesome. Get the fresh pasta if your supermarket is out of the regular pasta. This is great. It can stay in your refrigerator for like a month and it's all good. Okay, I'll show you the finished plate once everything comes together. While my pasta's boiling before I plate it up, I thought I'd show you how I add some spice. Oh Lord, I look tired. I look real different than I did when I started this recipe because it's 5 o'clock. I'm tired. I've been cleaning all day. Right, this isn't about cleaning. Anyway, before I season my sauce, I'm going to take a little bit out so that Lachlan doesn't get any of the spicy bits. So let me take some of this out for him. That's probably enough. You can't see what I'm doing. That's cute. Okay, hang on. Let me put this down. Let me see. This is annoying. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold it. Taking it off of this little mount is ridiculous. Right. So the first thing let me unplug you. So what I'm going to do is get my ingredients together. Here we go. Up close and personal, don't you like it? Okay, first is cayenne. Steven and I like spicy food. It is what it is. This is hard to do one-handed with any type of accuracy, but that'll do. That's probably 2 teaspoons. Tony's. Remember, this has a lot of salt in it, so maybe just a little bit. And then, piece de resistance. All my Cajun friends are probably like, hold up, what? But yes, put this a little bit. This is liquid fire, people. Be careful when you are adding this to your sauce. You do not want a lot. You want a very little bit. I'll show you. Hang on. Let me get the angle right here. Hope you can see it. Boop, done. That was probably too much. I'm gonna be spicy, but that's okay. That's how I like it. So, also wanted to mention, I had to turn this off because Steven and Lachlan went on a walk, and so I had to like put all of this on hold, and it looks just fine. It's still steaming. In fact, I'm gonna still haven't done my dishes. I'm gonna put the lid on, and look, I added a clove of garlic. By the way, this is like murky because I stir it with the same spoon. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I added a clove of garlic to the water, that roasted garlic we did in the oven with the tomatoes. So, once that's to boil, I'll add my tagliatelle and I'll plate it up. I'll show you that clip next. It's been 5 minutes. My pasta's done. go ahead and drain it. Give it a little shake. Put it back in there. Let it finish draining. So I am going to go ahead and fix Laughlin's up because his needs time to cool. If I could just, thank you. There we go. His little stir. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Gosh, that's pretty. Yeah. You can make this. Look, it's a lot of time and a lot of effort, but goodness gracious, this looks insanely good. Okay. I'm going to set his on the windowsill, let it cool. I'm going to plate up some for me so I can see how wonderful I am. Look, cooking is one skill that I never ever think that was a waste of time. Why would anybody learn this? Whatever. I just love it. Oh, there's our garlic. Let me take him out. You can keep him in there if you want. Perfectly edible. There might be a little bit of a surprise. Okay, there's mine. Take the lid off. Let's get some of this delicious sauce. It's thick. Oh, I'm making a mess. But that just looks... Oh, what? This is insane. I'm so happy. I'm about to be even happier. Let's do this. Gotta test it and make sure it's good, you know. I don't want people to be eating bad stuff. They're gonna be home any minute from their walk. Dinner is gonna be on the table. All right. Let's get a good bite. Look, I'm married, okay? When you try this, you're gonna be like, where is that woman? I'm married. I cannot be your wife. You gotta try this. It took all day. It's 5:18 right now. I've been cooking this since 9 o'clock last night, if you count the slow roasting tomatoes. But it is so good. Anyway, try it, don't try it, laugh at me, laugh with me. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it.